So, as a man in his mid-20s who thought it'd be a good idea to start a Minecraft channel, and who's been playing Minecraft since 2011, I felt obligated to go watch the movie, and now I feel obligated to even talk about it. So this was my experience on watching the new Minecraft movie, and I just want to start off by saying it was complete trash, but I did have a very good time. Before I continue, I want to thank everyone who has liked and subscribed from my previous videos. It means a lot. And if you're new here, I make Minecraft talking videos, so if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost you much and you can always unsubscribe in the future. Anyways, I watched this movie on Saturday night, so I've had a couple days to, just think about it and digest it a little bit more. And it was my girlfriend, a couple of friends of mine, and me obviously, who went to go watch this movie, and I want to start off by saying that we treated it as an event, and we knew it was going to be pretty bad based on the trailers and some other reviews, but we really didn't care. We went to a later showing, so there were more adults, still quite a few kids, but upon scoping out the audience when we were walking in, it was a lot of older people, kind of around our age, maybe a little bit older. But just a fair warning, I am going to be talking a little bit about spoilers, but really, I mean, you're not missing too much. So to begin, I gotta say, the script felt like it was written with crayon and proofread by a bunch of 10-year-olds, just to give you a sense of what you're watching or relating to what you watched already. On top of the script being all over the place, I would also say it was a green screen disaster. It was very out of place. The semi-live action attempt felt pretty uncanny. They tried to make the aspects and the mobs of Minecraft kind of realistic, and in some scenes it came out pretty uncanny and kind of disturbing almost. I think they would have had a better visual result if they just went full animated on this. But anyways, if I have something to say about the overall experience, it felt like one of those random gaming sessions when you and your friends would just be fooling around and every minor inconvenience is the funniest thing ever. That's kind of what it felt like, and I think that's why we enjoyed it. I want to think that we're caught up in our 40+ hour workdays, responsibilities, and stress, that sometimes it feels really good to just have an excuse to be goofy and laugh at goofy things. So I'm gonna say it again, we had a pretty good time. The audience was part of the experience too. I couldn't stop laughing and cringing, and I'm sure you guys have seen the reels or the memes about it, but any minor reference to the game, and I mean minor, people would cheer, scream, it's not as bad as what I've seen online, but it did add to the experience, and it was kind of funny. It did remind me of when I went to the theaters during Infinity War and Endgame, and the Transformer films, which I'm also both a big fan of, so I do think the audience did play a part into making the experience just a little bit better. I know some people are going to be like, that ruined it. But overall, it was just such a goofy experience that if you knew what you were getting yourself into, you can't really be mad at that. I would say those are the positives of the movie. Again, we did treat it as an event, but I have to say overall, the movie itself just shows a lot of lost potential. A lot of people, including us, paid good money to watch this. We decided to watch it in IMAX. I always like watching my movies in IMAX, and I feel like they just didn't consider that aspect. They knew they were going to get money from this, and it is the best-selling game of all time. It's very popular, so many people play it, and so many people are going to continue playing it. You would think that they would have tried a little bit more. Trust me, after watching it, you can't help but wonder what an actual good attempt would look like, while still remaining a kid's movie. You did not know who the main character was. It focuses on the kid Henry, I believe that was his name, a little bit, but at the same time, it jumps to Steve, and then it jumps to Jason Momoa's character, and they didn't really just focus on one character. You would think that Steve would have had most of the spotlight, but that wasn't at all the case. They also tried to focus on exploring your creativeness, but they barely succeeded in that. There were maybe 2 scenes that kind of emphasized it, and then that was it. And Steve could have been taken a different way. The movie starts with him escaping his adult life and going into a fantasy world, which I guess we can somewhat understand, but at best, it's really a silly character development. And I also gotta point this out, the horror potential, man, there were a couple scenes in here that show that they could have added a horror aspect to this movie, but they really didn't try. I feel like they did recognize the potential, but they didn't try to expand on that more. Maybe it is because they were really dead on focused on it being a kid's kids movie, but you could still have a kids movie and have suspenseful slash horror scenes. Minecraft is still one of the scariest games I've played, which I'll explore in later videos, but some scenes like the Enderman, and even when they show parts of the Nether, show that if people tried making a different movie, they could actually succeed in making a pretty suspenseful slash horror movie. You know, there's Halloween movies that are meant for kids. They could have definitely applied some of those ideas and expand on certain scenes a little bit more. But anyways, the part that really crushed me and further solidified that this movie was actually intended to be goofy and a joke was when Steve came out with his diamond armor. Man, I couldn't even laugh. It was just bad. It was pretty cringy. At this time, I also looked over at my girlfriend and man, I just hope she never looks at me the way she was looking at that scene. It was just overall goofy. It looked like the diamond armor had blue painted aluminum over it. It was pretty bad. There were a couple cool scenes, fight scenes I guess you could call them, where everything just explodes. And I guess the last fight scene was pretty cool too, showing a whole bunch of iron golems going against a bunch of piglins. It kind of reminded me of those YouTube videos where it's like 15 iron golems versus 100 piglins, who would win. But yeah, I thought that scene was okay. It was pretty fun, but at the same time, it was also the same scene where Steve comes out with his diamond armor, and man, that was kind of an emotional roller coaster for me. Now, listen, overall, the movie was bad, but we did have a good time. It's gonna make for a bunch of new jokes, a bunch of new memes, and I think a lot of people, including me, are gonna look back at it as a memory. But I do want to say, kind of like how some Star Wars fans are with some of the movies, this wouldn't necessarily be my canon. It's someone else's take on it. Minecraft is more than this movie could ever hope to compare to. Was it fun? Was it goofy? Sure. And it's probably going to be one of the best worst movies. And you know, I'm alright with that. And I'm pretty sure the studio and the people who made it are going to be fine with that as well. You can kind of tell that they did have fun filming this movie. But yeah, overall, it was more or less lost potential. Do I recommend this movie? Absolutely. But only if you know what you're getting yourself into and will enjoy it for what it is. A joke. Would I watch it again? Nope. Probably not. Anyways, pretty quick and random video. Like I said, I kind of felt obligated to at least give my 2 cents on this, on the new movie that came out. You know, everyone has their own opinion. Again, overall, I had a pretty good time. I had a good time with friends. I laughed a bunch. Movie itself was pretty bad, but at this point, it almost felt like it was meant to be. Go ahead and comment down below what you guys thought of the movie. If your opinion is like or different than mine, go ahead and comment that too. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you made it this far into the video and you still haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I usually post more serious slash heartfelt videos, so if you'd like to stay tuned for those or check out the ones I've already posted, go right ahead. Thank you guys for watching.